Hello, welcome to Topper Machine. I'm Josh Topper. So, as you can see, spring and summer have finally hit here in northern Wisconsin. The birds are singing, the trees have got leaves on them, the grass is growing, sorta. It's been extremely dry here. We started out with a lot of snow this winter, and it melted extremely fast, and now we haven't had rain in a while. So things are drying out. It's not been good for our honeybees, but a lot of stuff's been happening around here in the shop. So let's head inside and we'll take a look at what's going on and what's coming. So quite honestly, I've been doing a lot of proprietary work lately, so I haven't been able to do much for filming. So this video comes not really as a surprise to myself, because I just haven't been able to film much. Been doing some, like I said, proprietary work that I can't film. Like there's a job over on the planer right now. But something that's going to be coming up is I need to make a new tool holder here for the Mori vertical slaughter. This one is actually too tall, and what I'm thinking I'm seeing is this might be a clapper box, so I'm going to investigate that further. But I need to make one shorter so that I can utilize the full 12 inches of stroke for some of the parts I do. So that's been kind of an issue with one of my really big customers that I do a lot of internal keyways for them, some very long ones. So that's something we're working on. Working on getting the material and getting going on building that so we can just start doing them jobs better. And otherwise I don't have much in here to show you in the main shop, but if we head back to the weld shop, we'll see what's going on back there. So some of you know about this project. This is the Mini Gray, the gray drum drive tractor that I'm building roughly a half-scale model of. I always loved the gray tractors. They were started in New York in the teens, and then they moved to Minneapolis, and they were building these tractors. They had a big 4-cylinder Waukesha on them. I'm using a 2-cylinder Wisconsin, and this is the hydraulic tank with the oil cooler that I welded up. And I hope this all works out, but it's all hydraulic drive. It's coming together nicely, and I'm hoping to get this thing going here yet this year. And then another addition to the shop that we'll be doing a video eventually are these right here. These are a couple of cannons I had cast by Tomahawk Foundry in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. And I made the barrel liners. They are for a golf ball. And my first golf ball cannon I made about 15 years ago at 100 yards shot a hole through a 6-inch pine tree. So looking forward to, we're gonna actually saw the oak and build the carriage for these cannons. Now let's head outside and see what's going on out there. I don't know how well you can see it. I'm trying out a new camera, actually. That's one of the big things I'm doing right now. I'm really tired of fighting with the GoPros. I've had nothing but problems. The customer support's been just not great. So I invested in a DJI action cam, and I'm just trying it out. And so far, I really like it. Hopefully this fixes some of my audio issues and some of the other problems I've been having, like the camera's locking up constantly with GoPro, losing footage, just all kinds of issues. But this is our yard. This is my wife's domain. See the fence? This keeps me out. And her garden's looking nice. Our strawberries are doing great. The apple trees are looking good. Everything's a little dry though. And there's our chicken pen over there. We extended the pen for them because we had too many critters coming in and trying to kill our chickens all the time. So we've been doing that. Here's the sawmill. The first logs, Carl brought them over here a week and a half. And he said, I'm not going back out in the woods until the mosquitoes are a little better. He says, I'm gonna go need to go to the hospital and get some blood if I go back out there. Mosquitoes been horrible this year. But there's our first logs for the year. So we'll be ready to start sawing here soon. And one of the goals, hopefully, for this year is to build a small shed over the headstock, or the husk, they call it, for this mill. And then in the winter, I can roll the carriage under there. It'll protect everything and probably get it'll the shed will go that way a ways, so we can put something in here as well, probably the spreader or, you know, a tractor or whatever. And our honeybees are doing really well. I'll work my way over there. We've actually just finally done a split on the hives. They got a very late start with making drone brood. The drones are the males, and without a male, the queens can't get impregnated. So that's kind of what's been going on there. So we're working on kind of building our hives back up after the long winter. We had only 2 survived, and now we're back to 4. And hopefully things work out good there. And now we'll move over to the crane. Now, the crane has been a ongoing project. We've been working on it here and there. One of the big problems was the exhaust manifold had a huge leak in it right here, and a few more in further. So what I did is I remembered an old forklift that I had worked with for years, and it had been parked unusable. And so I called up the owner and I said, "Hey, what are you doing with that old tow motor?" And he said, "Get it out of there, it's yours." I'm like, okay, well, I needed a manifold. Well, the propane manifold off of the same motor, but it's a Continental F227, this is F186. That motor uses the same manifold, but it's propane, so it has a different intake and a different exhaust manifold. Now this flange here at the top was actually down here, so I cut it off, brazed the plate on with a little drain hole, and then brazed the flange back on. So now I've got a good manifold. That's my intake off of the crane. So we're getting closer to back together. But one of the big issues we've been having is the drive. I got a bad sprocket. In fact, let me walk around to that side and show you. It's really, it's got no teeth left on it. I mean, we took off the last of the teeth trying to get it. So right here. And that's just, it's shot. Now, it's a job to get this out of there. In fact, I'll crawl under the crane here and show you just what we got. And hopefully you can see that. One of the things I read about the DJIs is they don't like the dark. And hopefully you can see, but this drum here and that axle shaft and that sprocket are all one big casting, steel casting or forging. Not sure yet, but I need to cut that sprocket off and weld a new one on. Well, there is an axle shaft that comes out of this gearbox right here, which I don't know if you can see it, that goes all the way out to about 2 inches from the end of that sprocket. So in order to do this, I need to drop the entire gearbox down and then turn it to slide that shaft off. But once it's off, we're going to do both sides, just replace both sprockets, and then put this all back together, and we'll be in good shape to start driving it around again. And then we're going to do track pins. So that'll be a job, and just look up here, under here. This is the hoist drum for the main boom. So there's a lot going on in these old cranes. They're a lot of fun. I really enjoy working on them, but my wife isn't too happy about the fact that I got a big project ahead of me with the crawler side of it, but you know, what do you do? I'm already too far into it to give up, so we're gonna go ahead and fix it. And it's mechanically on the upper end, it's in too good a shape to not fix it. So we're making progress. It's a slow job. Hopefully by the end of the summer we'll get it driving. I don't know if we'll be using it yet. And I'll walk over here and show you I've been working on the steam engine. I'm trying to get that going this year. Everything's just finally spring broke, and it you know, winter's gone and now we can start working on stuff again. So here is the back platform I took off this last winter and rebuilt. The water tanks that I had powder coated. Now I need to paint the brackets and start putting it together, and that's going to be a bit of a job. So hopefully I can get that done here in the next few weeks. Here's the back platform pieces, more of them, all powder coated. But there she is. That is a 1917 A.D. Baker. 1917, this would have been a 20 horse, but they put it on the original 20 horse boiler was bad, so they put it on a 21 horse boiler, a later boiler. So I've got the better boiler with the earlier engine and the earlier hardware, but they didn't change them much. So the only thing in the later heavy duties was they added a piece here to enclose this a little more and a little heavier bracketing on the gearing, but otherwise it's basically still, you know, very accurate for an early 2175. So I don't care. That's hard to find a Baker, and this one's complete, and it's 180 psi on the boiler is what I got in Wisconsin, so we're good to go. And of course, here's the camper. We haven't been out yet this year. It's been a, like I said, a tough year. Spring just finally happened, but the boat's been out quite a bit. My stepkid's been out fishing a lot, and it's been using it quite a bit. So at least that's getting some use. And the water wagon back there and the F12 are ready to go to Hungry Hollow. I don't know if I'm going this year. It's just, like I said, it's been kind of hectic already. And we're back to the front of the shop. So lots been going on around here. So we'll head inside and I'll just fill you in on a few more things and we'll end the video. Oh, and look, here's Rocky, the shop supervisor. He's camera shy. He shies away when I point cameras at him, but he's ready to greet anybody that shows up and make sure I'm working. So we've had some new additions to the family here, and let me show you what they are. So the black one is the hen that went broody on us. She is a silky, and those are the babies we hatched out. We've been hatching, I think last year we hatched 3 chickens. This year we had 3 eggs we marked and tried to hatch out. I think one of them hatched at night and the other chickens ate it. And I caught these 2 just in the right time and brought them all in here to get them away from everyone and get them to start growing. But that one's half silky, half Buff Orpington, and that one's half silky, half Americana, that darker one. Those Americanas are pretty birds. We had the half silky, half Buff Orpington rooster hatch out last year, and he is just beautiful and just a gentle bird. So I think our black silky rooster is going to be going away because he's kind of a jerk. So as you can see, a lot's been going on around here. Like I said, a lot of proprietary work I can't film, but there is stuff that I will be filming coming up. So with that, I am going to take a short break just because this last winter was so rough on me. It was very hard on everybody in my family. It just drug on and on and on, and we left in, was it January or February? Somewhere in there. We went and did a cruise on Celebrity Apex in the Caribbean, and the whole time I was on that cruise, I seriously thought about just giving up, fleeing northern Wisconsin, and go hire on with the cruise ship company. You know, Royal Caribbean, they've got some pretty nice boats, and talking to the crews, I mean, looked like a pretty good option for me, just to get the hell out of northern Wisconsin, get away from snow, get away from winter. I absolutely hate winter. Everything I enjoy is outside stuff. You know, as you can see, the steam engine, can't really use it in the winter, can't work on it in the winter, I don't have the room, can't afford to build a new building that's big enough and heat it. You know, all winter long, it was $500-600 a month just to heat the shop without the outdoor boiler. You know, and it's kind of come to the realization that the outdoor boiler is just more work than it's worth. It takes away from time in the shop, so it's not feasible anymore for me to be cutting wood and feeding that boiler when, you know, $500-600 a month is, you know, okay, that's not bad, but it's a lot of money. It adds up, you know. So lots of things like that. You know, plowing snow, I hate plowing snow. In fact, I lost a very good friend, neighbor, and colleague. He worked for a company locally that he was their senior design engineer, and we worked together a lot, did a lot of projects together, and he died in that first snowstorm this last winter. He was shoveling snow, had a heart attack. you know, very big loss. It was felt very hard by all of us. My customer, their whole team there, here, it was, you know, a lot of us felt that one. It was brutal, you know, and added insult to injury with winter. So, you know, it came very close to just giving up. You know, and like I said, everything I enjoy is outside. You know, the dragline crane now, you know, I'm running out of time to work on that, so I got to work on stuff. And, you know, so I'm going to take a little break from filming. I'm going to keep trying to film things, and I'll put out some YouTube shorts here and there, because that does help with growing the channel. And once we get back in the swing of things, get caught up, things will be better. But it'll give me a chance to practice with this new camera, this DJI, and I'm hoping this is the answer to all my problems. If not, be moving on to another camera and trying to work through this stuff. So with that, I hope you stick with me and be patient, and there's lots of stuff coming. It's just a matter of when I can get to it and how I can get to it. So with that, until next time, get out in your shop and get it done right the first time.